Life is a path, not a destination. It is not something to be conquered, but something to be experienced. And on this path, the most important journey is not the one that takes you across continents or over mountains. The most important journey is the one that leads you inward towards the understanding of who you really are. The path to the outside is visible. You can see it, but the path inward is silent. And yet it is the most significant journey a human being can take. Many people search for strength. They want power. They want recognition. They chase status, wealth, applause. But real strength is not something you show to others. It is not in your fists or in your titles. Real strength is in your ability to sit with yourself, to face your own mind, without distraction, and to walk steadily in the direction of what you know to be true. Even when it is uncomfortable, even when nobody is watching, the world teaches us to react. Someone insults you, you strike back. Something doesn't go your way, you complain. A goal feels too far, you give up. But the path of a practitioner is different. It is not about reaction, it is about observation. Can you observe your anger rising without becoming it? Can you feel fear without letting it paralyze you? Can you recognize temptation and choose discipline instead? Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. When you train your body, when you discipline your mind, when you honor your word, you are not being hard on yourself. You are being true to yourself. You are aligning with your own values. The problem is not that people do not know what is right. Most people know. The problem is they do not do it consistently. They let their moods decide their action. But discipline means you do what you said you would do, long after the mood you said it in has left you. People think freedom means doing whatever you want. That is not freedom. That is indulgence. And indulgence always leads to weakness. Real freedom is being able to control yourself, to choose your response, to not be a slave to your emotions, your desires, your past. Real freedom is the ability to say no to yourself, to others, to the noise of the world. Real freedom is found in structure, in purpose, in mastery of the self. In the Shaolin tradition, every movement, every breath, every repetition is a meditation. When you do the same movement thousands of times, something interesting happens. At first, it is boring. Then it becomes frustrating. Then it becomes mechanical. But if you stay long enough, it becomes enlightening. Repetition reveals truth. It reveals your resistance, your ego, your impatience. And if you stay even longer, the repetition dissolves all of that. What remains is presence. What remains is clarity. That is why we train, not to impress others, but to transform ourselves. Transformation is not a dramatic event. It is not something that happens one day when you wake up. It is subtle. It is quiet. It is built in the dark, through consistent effort and awareness. You don't need to shout that you've changed. If the roots are deep, the tree will show it. People will feel it, not from your words, but from your presence. When you are truly grounded, you do not need to argue. When you are truly confident, you do not need to prove anything. When you are truly disciplined, you do not need motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is not based on mood. Discipline is based on commitment. You show up because that is who you are, not because you feel like it. That is the power of inner cultivation. You must ask yourself, what are you cultivating? Because you are always cultivating something. Are you cultivating patience or irritation? Are you cultivating strength or excuses? Are you cultivating clarity or confusion? What you water will grow. Every day your thoughts, your actions, your choices, and one day they will become your reality. The question is, are you planting with intention? Too many people seek shortcuts. They want the reward without the struggle. But there is no shortcut to wisdom. There is no shortcut to mastery. The path is the practice. The practice is the path. And the struggle is part of it. Without struggle, there is no refinement. Pressure turns coal into diamond. Fire purifies gold. Resistance builds muscle. So do not run from the struggle. Learn to welcome it. Say, this too is my teacher. When the mind is quiet, the truth becomes loud. But to quiet the mind requires courage. Most people are afraid of silence, because in silence they meet themselves. They hear the thoughts they've been trying to escape. They see the insecurities, the doubts, the inner chaos. But this is the gate. You must go through it. On the other side of that discomfort is understanding. And understanding is freedom. We are not born wise. We become wise by paying attention, by being present, by watching how we speak, how we walk, how we treat others, how we treat ourselves. Wisdom is not found in books alone. It is found in experience, in awareness, in reflection, and most importantly, in action. You can read 1,000 texts, but if you do not apply them to your life, they are just decoration for the mind. You must live what you learn. Every person you meet, every challenge you face, every failure you endure, they are part of your training. Life is the teacher, you are the student, and the lessons will repeat until you learn them. So do not run from failure. Do not curse your challenges. Ask, what is this trying to teach me? With this question, everything becomes useful, even pain, even loss, even doubt. People often ask, how do I become unshakable? The answer is simple, but not easy. You must know yourself. You must face your fears. You must train your body, discipline your mind, and open your heart, not just once, but daily. To be unshakable does not mean nothing affects you. It means you are rooted deep enough that even when the storm comes, you remain upright. You bend, but you do not break. Do not compare yourself with others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Everyone is on their own path. You must walk yours. There is no need to prove that you are ahead or behind. The only question that matters, are you moving in the right direction? Comparison creates anxiety. Presence creates peace. When you are truly present, you see clearly what needs to be done, and you do it without hesitation. Live simply, speak truthfully, move purposefully, love deeply. These are not weak qualities. These are signs of inner power. A calm person is not passive. A gentle person is not weak. It takes great strength to remain kind in a world that often rewards aggression. But your power is not in becoming like the world. Your power is in staying true to your essence. While walking through the noise, time is your most valuable currency. Spend it well. Do not waste it on things that drain you, people who confuse you, or habits that destroy you. Every day you wake up is a new chance. A blank page. What will you write on it? What will you create? Who will you become? What will you stand for? Your life is your message. Make it one worth reading. If you fall, get up with dignity. If you fail, learn with humility. If you succeed, walk with gratitude. Life is not always fair, but it is always teaching. You cannot control the weather, but you can learn to sail. You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. You cannot change the past, but you can choose how it shapes you. A warrior is not someone who wins every battle. A warrior is someone who refuses to give up, who gets up every time they fall, who stays committed even when it's hard, who chooses discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, inner peace over outer noise. And anyone can become this warrior, not by defeating others, but by conquering themselves. So today, do not ask for an easy life. Ask for the strength to face your life. Do not pray for comfort. Pray for clarity. Do not run from the work. Step into it, with your eyes open, with your heart steady, with your spirit grounded. The way forward is not outside of you. It is within. When you realize this, everything changes. The world becomes a mirror. Your breath becomes an anchor. Your life becomes your training ground. And every moment becomes a chance to walk the path, not just as a traveler, but as a master in the making. You are capable of more than you know, but to see it, you must begin. Not tomorrow, now, not later. Here, the present moment is your doorway. Open it with awareness, step through it with courage, and keep walking, one step, one breath, one mindful movement at a time.